Hello, photographers. Today we're going to talk about the best backup method for photographers. The best backup method for photographers is based on the 3-2-1 philosophy. 3-2-1 helps you remember two things. First is the reminder that your data is always vulnerable. The idea is that 3 is actually 2, 2 is actually 1, and 1 is none. Because hard drives fail, data gets corrupted, cloud services disappear or change their terms, houses burn down, data gets deleted, things happen. So if you have 3 sets of photos, you really only have 2 because at any time one of those sets could fail. And if you only have 2 sets of photos, you really just have 1. And if you only have 1 set of photos, you have none because it's only a matter of time before that set will fail. Now the other thing 3-2-1 helps us remember is how this system actually works. It goes like this. You should have at least 3 sets of your photos, with 2 of those sets stored locally. The local sets are your working set of photos and a backup of your working photos on a separate drive. And finally, you should have 1 set of your photos stored off-site. 3 sets of photos with 1 stored off-site puts you in a position where it's unlikely, though not impossible, for all 3 sets of photos to be lost at the same time. If your working hard drive fails, you can restore from the backup drive. If your house burns down and both local drives are destroyed, you can restore from the off-site backup. And if your off-site backup is lost or destroyed, you can create a new off-site backup with your local set. So now let's look at how to implement this. The first step is creating your second local set of photos. To do this, you need an external hard drive and backup software. As far as hard drives go, the most important thing is the storage capacity. I'd recommend something that is at least twice the size of your current photo library. This will give you room for your backup to grow, and it gives you space for versioning and safety nets. As far as the backup software goes, I recommend that you choose software that offers these features. Backup scheduling. This is a must. As much as possible, the backups must occur automatically so that you don't even have to think about it happening. A safety net is the second feature. This archives changes to your backup so that you can go back and recover deleted files. And the final thing is file versioning. File versioning is similar to the safety net, but what file versioning does is archive files that have been changed, so if you need to, you can recover a previous version of that file. So when you set up your software, the most important decision to make is how often your backup is updated. I have mine scheduled to update nightly, and if your computer is set up with the backup drive permanently attached to it, I'd encourage you to set yours up nightly as well. However, if you use a laptop or even a desktop where you routinely disconnect the drive that has your photos on it, then nightly might be a bit much because you're going to have to remember to connect both the working data drive and the backup drive to the computer so that the backup can actually run. Whatever frequency you choose, if backing up requires you to connect 1 or more drives to your computer, I highly recommend you set a repeating alarm or reminder so that you do not forget. With the local backup in place, the next step is to get the offsite backup going. The best possible scenario for this is a cloud-based backup solution. I use and recommend Backblaze for this because it's cheap at $5 a month for unlimited backup. It runs in the background, keeping your backup up to date always. It's available on Windows and Mac OS, and they make recovering your data very, very easy. Now, if you're going to use Backblaze or something similar, this can actually be easier to set up than the local backup because all you have to do is sign up, download the software, tell it what to back up, and then forget about it. However, not everyone has internet connectivity that allows for cloud solutions. In that case, you have to roll your own offsite backup solution. And if you have to roll your own, what I recommend you do is get another external hard drive that will be kept off-site. Ideally, a place you go to at least once a week. When you get that new drive, create the initial backup on it, and then schedule that drive to update on the same frequency as your local backup drive. Once the backup is completed, take the drive to its offsite location, and at least once a week, swap the offsite backup drive with the local backup drive. Each time you swap, the offsite drive will become the local drive, and it will be kept up to date, and then the new offsite drive will protect your data until the next swap. And since you're doing this manually, I again recommend that you use a repeating reminder or alarm so that you do not forget to keep this up to date. This 3-2-1 system is the exact method that I use, and it's been great. I've had 2 drive failures over the past decade, and in both cases my recovery was a cinch because I had this system in place. If you implement this for your backups, it will make it very unlikely that you'll suffer a permanent data loss. However, even with a 3-2-1 system in place, there is a non-zero chance that you could lose all of your data and all of your backups, which is why I wanted to share some additional steps that you can take if you'd like. One step I take is to use Dropbox as a repository for all of my finished work. It's not a full backup of my photo library, but I keep a Dropbox folder with all of my finished edits in it. And if I somehow lost all 3 sets of my photos at once, I'd still have my finished work that I could recover from Dropbox. In addition to that, I am subscribed to Adobe's Creative Cloud photography plan with the 1 terabyte of cloud storage. Now, I don't have my full photo library on Adobe's Cloud either, but all of my new photos go there, and that does provide me some additional redundancy for my work. Another option, if you have the internet connectivity for it, is a service like Google Photos. Now, I do not recommend Google Photos as part of your 3-2-1 system for a few reasons. The first is that it's a free service, and there's never any guarantee that a free service will stick around. Second is that Google Photos compresses photos down to 16 megapixels in order to use the free storage. For some people, that's not a big deal, but for others, that would be a really big issue. And the final reason is that recovering your photos from Google is actually kind of a pain in the butt. You can do it, but it's not a very pleasant process. But as an additional layer on top of your 3-2-1 setup, Google Photos is great because it's one more instance of your photos that you can go to if you happen to have multiple catastrophic failures, and it's easy to use. You just download the software for it, set it up, and let it go. Apple's iCloud Photos is a similar option, though you have to pay for the storage to use it. So that is the best backup method for photographers, and I've put all of this together in a free guide that you can get at this link right here. And if you have any questions about creating a backup system that works for you, let me know down in the comments. And then do me a favor and like this video and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my videos, and then get out there and take some damn photos. Thank you for watching. Now, I get loads of questions and they all boil down to one thing, which is how do I make my camera do what I want it to do? And here's the thing, your camera is like an instrument, and you can't make music if you can't play your instrument. If you want to learn how to play your camera like the instrument it is, visit this link right here to check out my Guide to Shooting in Manual Mode video course.